Shut up and sit down.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you as well.
Yeah.
What a shitty way to start the new year, though.
You guys. Yeah. I mean, so far, it's only the 3rd at the time of recording and streaming this,
Yeah.
but not that much bad shit has happened to me this year. Well, of course, it's only been 3 days, but
Yeah.
we still got carryover from last year. I think the last time we did a podcast was around December 7th. I had just been fired.
Mm-hmm.
And still don't have a job, because when somebody fires you, more people aren't like, oh, let's hire that guy. Even though,
You have a.
I can't say, oh, it's because I reported OSHA violations and they fired me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's something that you just kind of have to play by ear. And if they give you that opportunity to be like, hey, so why were you fired? Then you can be like, it was an OSHA violation. I'm actually in talks with a lawyer right now about that.
Yeah, and I think, I feel like I just faded out when I started talking there, but I am in talks with some lawyers, and believe pretty soon here we're going to be sending them a letter requesting settlement.
There you go. Oh yeah.
For not just lost wages, because it's only been like a month, but at this point, like, punitive damages to like my professional reputation.
Yeah, because it is making it harder for you to get another job.
Yeah, emotional damages too, because I'm not like in danger of being homeless because I can't find a job, but like it's stressing me the fuck out because it's something I need to do for school, and I can't do it right now because, well, I can't find a job. I don't know. I've put in like probably close to 50 applications through like Indeed and ZipRecruiter and Monster since I got fired. But I have what I think is a really impressive resume with like 4 pages of manufacturer and dealership training that I've completed attached, and printout of my grades, and so I've got my forklift certification, my driving certification. Just as like, it's like a 9-page resume, but I think it's impressive. And so far I've gotten 0 callbacks and 0 job offers. So
Jesus.
It's not for lack of trying, but
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with that. Additionally, not much else. I went home to Ohio for a little bit. That was
experience.
Yeah, you always, I guess, hold an idea of home in your mind of like it in its idealized version, and then you go home and you find out like, shit's kind of fucked, really.
Yeah.
Things aren't that great, and then I'm glad to be home again, but I got to the Pittsburgh airport on, I think, the 22nd of December, and I walked in to check in with United, which, by the way, don't ever fly United. It's the biggest piece of shit airline in the entire world. I hate United. I sincerely hope that United goes out of business and doesn't exist anymore. However, I walk up to the kiosk and just start to check in, and the lady behind the desk, who looked like she'd been there all day and didn't feel like dealing with anything, was like, "That ain't gonna help you." I'm like, excuse me? She's like, what's your flight number? And I was like, I don't know. That's why I'm trying to use the kiosk to check in and get a boarding pass. She's like, oh, and then I do that. And she's like, ugh, going to SeaTac. And I was like, yeah, why? She's like, yeah, that's delayed. I was like, oh, it's 5 p.m. The flight was supposed to be at 6 p.m. What's it delayed till? She's like, about 10 p.m. Like, oh. Get to the gate, finally. Just, go through security and all that. Security in the Pittsburgh airport made me take my shoes off, which I find weird as hell, because, like, you and I both, in the process of CERTAS, flew internationally several times, and not once did I ever have to take my shoes or my belt or my watch off for anything.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I used to have TSA pre-check, but, like, pretty much still, if you just, like, flash your military ID, they kind of just, like, let you through. But yeah, Pittsburgh Airport, TSA, they're a bunch of dicks. Let me take my shoes off and shit.
Gross.
And I'm like, dude, I look like the least terroristy guy here. Like, come on, man. Yeah, anyway, I get to the gate, and there is actually someone, a United worker, very, very cute girl, I think her name was Marilyn, at the gate. And I was like, hey, so heard this flight was delayed, like, 5.5 hours. What's going on? She's like, well, the plane hasn't left Seattle yet. I was like, that's no good. That's bad. And then, sure enough, I end up taking a nap at the gate after I think I went to the Chick-fil-A in the airport and got like a sandwich and some sweet tea. And then I didn't feel like eating it at the gate, so I sat down at an airport bar to eat it. And this guy walked up and he's like, really only for customers. And I was like, well, then bring me your cheapest beer. And he brought me a beer that I didn't drink. I paid $4 for a beer so I could sit at the table.
Yeah, have a real table.
Yeah. Well, I used their condiments too, their ketchup. And then, I took a nap at the gate and woke up. And I hate planes, man. I hate airports, and I hate people, and I hate planes, and something about air travel, increasingly I find you'll see every manifestation of the worst of humanity in an airport. Like selective ignorance, willful ignorance, people who actually are just really dumb. Just the worst you could imagine of humanity. You will see it in an airport, and
Yeah, it makes me want to get my pilot's license just so I never have to fly commercial again. But at the same time, hopefully when I get back, I won't have to, ever.
Getting a pilot's license is something that would intrigue me because I always loved TC's helicopter, Magnum PI, and I think flying helicopters would be cool. That said, entirely too many racing drivers have died in plane and helicopter crashes. I'm not ever going to be one of them.
Yeah.
If I gotta go somewhere, I'll drive, buddy.
Yeah.
What do you mean you'll drive? You guys are in North Carolina. You gotta get to California in 4 days. Like, yeah, I'll drive, dude. I'll drive it. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah, CDL, I'll rent a tour bus.
The only places you can really fly, those kind of, fly yourself would be across the states.
Yeah, you're not gonna, have a private plane and fly yourself to Japan or Australia.
Yes, exactly.
Exorbitantly expensive and not possible.
Yeah, you're gonna need a big plane.
Yeah, do you own your own 737? No. Well, exactly. I guess you're chartering a flight then.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So that was neat, but I made it home to SeaTac at 3:45 in the morning. And shout out the homie Miller, dude's the goat, came to pick me up, said he would, and he did. And we had a slippery drive home from Seattle to, Whitby. But then me driving home in my Raptor, which I hadn't seen in a week, from Whitby to Linden was quite the experience, because that was the snowpocalypse. While I was at home in Ohio, my dad, at one point, my dad was watching the NBC Nightly News, and it showed Linden. And it was like, yeah, they got 14 inches overnight. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. As soon as I saw that, I was like, back that up. And he's like, what? I was like, just back that up. And it goes 3 frames back. And I'm like, it's like, welcome to Linden. And I was like, that's where I live, Dad. And he's like, oh, shit, buddy. He was like, are you sure you don't want to stay? I was like, no, I'm absolutely positive I don't want to stay in Ohio any longer than I have to, actually.
Yeah.
I saw my brother for the first time in a lot of years. He's got a huge beard.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, it suits him well. He's doing good.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got a house and a dog, and he's working. And oddly enough, that we have more in common than I thought. He has also sued a former employer for wrongfully terminating him. So we talked about that a little bit, and yeah.
That's fun. That's fun.
Yeah, but I made it home right as that snowpocalypse continued across the states and hit Ohio and everything. It was like I got home at like 6 in the morning and I didn't even go to sleep. And I'd stayed up, and then all across Facebook it was like SeaTac shuts down for like 2 days, like 370 flights canceled, and I was like, yeah, I just made it home in time.
Yeah, it's a good thing you didn't fucking wait.
Yeah. No, I had no plans on waiting. I was like, first wave hit, okay, probably more coming, but it's not here yet, so I can at least leave Pittsburgh. And I was like, even if they gave me like somewhere close, like they gave me to Portland or like Sacramento or something, like I'll rent a car and I'll drive home. I can drive in snow. I've done it all my life. But,
exactly.
Yeah. And I got home and like I was like, fuck, how am I gonna get in my door? 'Cause I sent you a picture of like, it was like 1.5 foot of like snow with like ice on top, like in front of like, on my steps and in front of my front door, and I was like, fuck, am I gonna get inside?
Yeah.
But I did. I made it inside, and then I was like, ain't no way I can. I gotta cook something. Ain't no way I can DoorDash shit in this weather.
No. Yeah. No.
Yeah. It was a trip. Yeah, made it home. Good. Glad to be home. I feel like more has happened since we last talked. This is where I never make a list of like talking points. I got you a pretty cool Lego kit for Christmas. How's that coming?
Yeah, I put the box away.
It's
I
fine.
For anybody looking, that it's a knockoff Lego set, Cyber Knight, not even Cyberpunk or anything. It's Cyber Knight.
Cyber Knight. It's
But
trademark
You
safe.
see like one of the cars, and then there's
More to your left.
There we go.
Yeah.
There's another car. There's a gun, and there's a motorcycle.
Yeah,
So you have a bunch.
that was on Amazon. It wasn't very expensive. I don't know what the Lego kits. How big is it? Like, how long is it?
So I finished one book of 4, and this is how big it is. Like, it's
Like 1.5 feet long?
here. I'll grab my Porsche kit and we can compare sizes.
God damn that big. Check the Twitch stream. Wow. Oh, Mr. Sark is streaming right now.
All right. So here we have the Porsche kit, and then right on top we have the actual Cyberpunk car. They're about the same size based on the wheel length.
Yeah, and they're, what is it, like 1.5 feet long?
Probably about, yeah.
So that's like 1/12 scale, I would say.
Like it's a nice car because like
Yeah, it's pretty big. What? I've been building a Trans Am lately. Not my 1/8 scale Trans Am from Revell, Germany. That's not here yet. It's coming from Germany. But I think it's a 1/16 scale Trans Am, and it's about 1 foot long. But yeah, I've got that very near 70% completed. I got to do decals and some finishing stuff and a little minor assembly, and then I'm gonna actually put it all together. But yeah, people watch videos on Facebook and YouTube of people like doing a model, and they're like, oh, it takes like 30-45 minutes to like build out a whole model. Like, no, it takes like 6 months to like do it really well and like do it nice.
Yeah.
I spent
Yeah.
4.5 days sanding and priming and puttying the body to make the body look really nice and all the panels line up. I also wanted to fill in the marker lights because I didn't want marker lights on this Trans Am. So I had to fill them with putty and sand it smooth. And yeah, I spent like a week just fucking with the body before I even painted the car. And then I painted it twice because tester enamel is really shit to airbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I painted it and then I stripped the back half basically and sanded it smooth again and then painted it again. So it's been painted twice, but it looks really nice. Picture on my Instagram.
Really? Yeah, I when I saw that. I haven't been on Instagram in a while, but I've been trying to get a. I'll talk about that later. It's a whole different thing. But yeah, that's the thing. I would love to get into that, but like, because we had like the time, and then
I've got nothing but free time right now.
Like this alone took me over 3 hours, and this is 1/4 of the car. And
are you gluing any of that together, or does it all just snap together?
They snap together, but the reason that me and you would talk about it is it says for eight years, like ages 8 and up.
Yeah.
The amount of things so Lego parts, you put in one piece at a time, and like it all it's like every part snaps in, so it feels nice.
Clack, clack, snip, snap.
This one to get one, because you're building it in like chunks, and for like you can, I don't know if you can see, there's a thing right in there. To get that in there, I also have to snap in like 2 other parts here. So you're trying to snap in
all at the same
3
time.
different parts at the same time, while one's like wiggling around. So you're basically like contorting your hands trying to make it all fit. So it's like sometimes I would try and put it together, and the whole thing would just kind of fall apart because I didn't put it in right. Yeah. So like there's been several times, which for viewers watching, I will post a time lapse of me building the whole thing. It won't have the ASMR sound because while I'm building it, I'm listening to music.
You won't be doing ASMR? That's really disappointing.
Not on this. It takes too long. Like, I'm going to do a time lapse on it and probably put some fucking, I don't know, some kind of music over it because I'm lazy. But
generic,
like, it is nice.
Royalty free. The summoning salt music.
But like, it is really nice because I'm really hard to get it to do it right now. But earlier I was able to get it to where you can see those are all pistons, and it's a V8 engine, and you could literally, you build it in a way that each piston would, actually rise.
That's awesome. I didn't know it was that detailed.
Yeah.
I figured it would be like one of your Lego builds. I know I bought you a couple model cars that you left here and never finished that I will someday finish. And I was like, I figured he'd like those, but yeah, the Lego I figured would be good for you. But even like a less labor-intensive model, I should buy you some gunplay, because gunplay are like intricate and like complicated, but also they're really simple to build. There's no glue, there's no paint. Like you could just trim the thing out and put it all together in like an afternoon and have it like stand.
Yeah, because like that's more of the thing. Like as soon as you get paint involved, like then I feel like I have to go balls to the wall. Like I'm not gonna paintbrush paint. I'm gonna airbrush it all, and like then I have to get all that.
Yeah, I spray things and I airbrush things, and I have hundreds of dollars of like special stuff. I have clear model glue for putting windows in that doesn't fuck up the clear plastic windows. I have like 4 different products for applying decals and then making them dry. I have a literal mountain of shit in the corner of the room for like putting models together. Well, I spent like $40 on the things to like nicely cut parts off of the tree. Like razor blades and X-Acto knives, like 90 sheets of sandpaper of different grits. Then they're all like foam backed, so you can like contour body shapes and stuff. It's like I've spent so much money on these stupid small cars just because I can't afford real ones.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's the thing is like, I'd have to go like that sort of level because it's, if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it right.
I can't half-ass it. I'm like all or nothing. Like I'm doing this. Yeah. Like I've bought tiny little you've seen the diorama that my TV stand has become. It's a functional sort of race shop diorama. There's like an almost completed car. There's a completed car. There's 2 completed cars. Like there's toolboxes and oil and gas drums and like engine stand. I've gone completely into that one. Like,
yeah. Like, it'll be great. Like, it'll be sweet to,
Yeah. Someday, 11 years from now, when I'm done building all 30 of the models I have right now. Which, by the way, I bought 2 more. I think I told you. The 1/8 scale Revell Germany Trans Am that I wanted. Because it's the big... It's like... It's 2.5 feet long. It's a large Trans Am. I can detail the shit out of this because, you know, my sausage fingers and my bad eyes. Doesn't matter. It's big. It's big as shit. And I got another 1/8 scale car coming to 82 Camaro Z28. Okay. Because I had an 84. It looks the same. I'm going to try to recreate Thunderguts, my car. You know. It's the car I always wanted it to be, but never had the money to turn it into.
Yeah. Which, if you ever remember your VIN, we could definitely try and see if we can find that again.
It's funny you brought that up. While I was home, I found an old registration, and I have right here. Wrong thing. But somewhere here on this table that is a mess, I do have a piece of paper with my VIN number, and I'm going to Carfax the car and just see where it is now and who's got it.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
I'm going to keep tabs on Thunderguts. I want her back.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was like. If it's an equivalent, state as when you sold it.
Even if it's not. If it's a total basket case and it's completely fucked, I can fix it. Yeah.
But I guess, it is Ohio, so I doubt anybody would pay the money to really, really, really fix it up.
Well, I sold it to a guy who lived across the river in West Virginia and said he was going to restore it and try to make it a nice driver for him and his wife. And then I never heard anything from him again. I never saw the car on the road again. Because it's not like he was forever away. He literally lived right across the river. And then, I never saw the car again. I never saw him again. I don't know what happened. So
yeah, maybe
it's anyone's guess where Thunderguts is now. Probably sitting in a garage exactly how I sold it, but with parts removed.
Yeah. Basically just with a jack stand underneath it because they planned to do stuff and then they just got, bored.
Yeah, probably. But yeah,
that's cool.
Those are some... Oh, and I bought a smaller El Cheapo, I don't care about it model kit, just the 49 Mercury from Cobra. I'm going to build the Cobra Mercury. I remembered that there was a kit, not specifically of the Cobra Mercury, but of one that looked very similar that my brother had when we were kids, and it was a steel body. And it came pre-painted and detailed and everything. You just had to build out the chassis and everything and just put it together. And I was like, that's the one I want. I want that one because I really don't feel like...
Yeah.
125th scale, they're this big. I can't... I can't detail shit that small anymore. I'm past the point of attention span and hand-eye coordination to be able to build 125th scale cars.
Yeah.
Which is a shame that I have 14 of them over there that I'm gonna build like shit because.
Yeah, it's really hard. You basically have to get tweezers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's real tedious shit, and then I gotta to do excuse me. I had Popeyes, so now I'm very gassy. To do a wired distributor with plug wires and engine bay wiring and hoses and belts and stuff. To do that, I'd have to get magnifiers and and I just can't. I can't spend all day doing one small thing. I will go insane. I just don't have the patience for that.
Oh, yeah, no, because that, even building that, after an hour and some change, one, my hands get tired, and two, I just need to do something else. I can't sit in one area for that long.
When I sit on the floor and work on my model kits right here, next to the coffee table where I have all the space to do it, if I sit down there for more than 20 minutes and don't move around, one of my legs will go completely numb. And then I can't move it. It's fuck, I can't. I'm too old to be sitting on a floor building a model kit like a kid. I gotta get a desk or something.
Exactly. A nice comfy desk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I still have the entire mostly empty spare bedroom that I really because I've got new toolboxes now. My old one's not really being used for anything. I could put it in there. I could get a desk, with a chair. I could actually turn that into a modeling studio and But then it would just be going even further in to building scale models.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I mean, we won't be able to bring it all with. It's just we don't want to overload how much we bring.
Oh, my models? I don't give a shit about most of my models. Probably a lot of them,
all the
I'll
gear.
throw away. Just
I just
to
meant
get
all
rid
the
of them.
gear though, because the cars will be fine.
Yeah,
We could definitely.
Well, if
It's
I put all my tools and paint and everything into my old toolbox, well, now it's all compartmentalized in this toolbox. I can just lock it, and ratchet strap around it, roll it into a truck.
Yeah, easy day, easy fix. Yeah, I am looking to see if I can find any model kits that look like it, but the other ones I'm finding don't have that hood scoop. So you'd have to.
Yeah, well, there aren't people out there who make the resin Hemi hood scoop specifically for a Mercury, but there are people out there who make a hood scoop close enough for other cars that I can make fit the hood of that Mercury, which, yeah, I'm always on Ted's Modeling and Shapeways, and even there's a couple different eBay sellers who 3D print resin parts for model kits and stuff. That's where I bought a couple engines and nitrous kits for some of my drag car models that I never finished yet. I haven't finished them yet, but I will. But yeah, it all just comes in, it's either clear plastic or just plain white plastic, or sometimes resin. And then with resin you can't model glue it together. You just use super glue, which is fine. I've got 94 little tubes of super glue to super glue shit together.
Yeah.
Which is a hack out there for anybody who builds models. If you've already painted everything and now you're like, shit, I can't model glue this together. Well, you can super glue it together. Super glue doesn't give a shit about paint.
Yeah, no. Super glue is fucking choice. But yeah, I mean, maybe one day I'll get into that once we are settled down in North Carolina. But even when I do get time, I definitely want to start looking, now that I got those carbon fiber mirrors.
Oh yeah, those came.
Mm-hmm. For anybody that doesn't know, let me actually go grab them real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that chicken from Popeyes. Oh, the sweet tea more though. God, I love the sweet tea from Popeyes.
So, here is the.
That is a nice aerodynamic small mirror.
Yep, it is the Yoshida Special Porsche 930 little mirror, and then as you can see, it has a little bit in there. But whenever I do get my carbon fiber kit to go and do stuff, I eventually want to go and try and practice on that because there's not a whole lot to it.
It's a small,
it's a
reasonably simple piece, but it's got contours, so you can
practice contours. It has some screws, but there's not a lot to it.
Well, with screw holes, I mean, you don't always have to have those in the mold. You can always just drill holes for screw holes.
No. But I mean, there's the screw for where the mirror goes. So I have to take that out. That way I can do the round mirror.
Which reminds me, I got some new tools. One of the new tools I got is a drill.
Oh hell yeah! With a light on it.
Yeah.
Bam.
It's a drill driver. It does both. And when I went home, and the one day my dad and I went out to my brother's house to see him, he remembered that he had a Christmas gift for me from 3 years ago. Guess what it was?
Oh. Another
It's
drill?
the same drill I already had bought myself a week before. And I was like, oh, cool. Now I have two of the same drill. Although it was separate. It was a drill and a driver, so it was actually two of these, but different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, same brand, same thing. They're orange. I like orange.
Right.
All my tools are orange, if they can be. My toolboxes are all orange. I have a power strip that's magnetic that sticks onto my toolbox. Guess what? It's orange.
All right then.
I have extension cords. They're orange. All my my
They
pry
work better.
bars, my hammers, my pliers, hand tools, screwdrivers, orange.
I mean, you gotta keep going, man. You gotta keep it up.
I got chisels. They're orange. Cause
All right then.
why not?
Yeah. Might as well.
Hopefully I can finish suing Pape Kenworth and get another job where I could use all my orange tools again. That'd be great.
Yeah. Which definitely saves some of that money because we can use that for whenever we buy. When I buy the land and then we finance the warehouse, then we can go and use some of that money to go and maybe try and build that 7-Eleven.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be like that much money. I think it will.
No, yeah, but it'd be something.
I think at most it would be like $12,000.
Yeah.
Like
but
on the high side. Then the lawyer's gonna take like 40% of that because that's what lawyers do. So
yeah, maybe just a car payment, really, realistically.
I could buy a pretty nice project with like $6,000, yeah. Or I could fix the Camaro, sell it, and then spend that money on something I actually have been wanting, like that '82 Trans Am. That would be cool.
Yeah, that one I sent you for like $1,200.
I could go buy that like right now. The problem is I don't have a trailer. I don't want to drive all the way to wherever the fuck it was in like Wenatchee or some shit. And then I get it home and it's like, oh yeah, it's still a moldy old Trans Am. I can't just like hop in it and start driving it.
Oh, hell yeah. That shit's nice. I mean, that's the thing. If you're going to get a nice one, you're going to pay money. Because like, if you look on fucking Craigslist, the only one they have is...
No, I can afford a basket case.
Car.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm well aware that I always knew this was gonna happen when over the course of having a ton of third-gen Camaros and Firebirds. I was like, eventually they're not gonna be like $3-4 grand cars anymore. They're gonna inflate and they're gonna be like 10 grand cars.
Yeah.
And now that I haven't had one in a while, that's happened. And now that I want another one, it's like, well, you can get a basket case for $1,200 and rebuild it completely. Like, well, yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do then.
Yeah, basically your only option.
Yeah.
Paying way too much. So that's basically the market right now. I mean, really,
that is the
really
market
shitty
right now, and I don't understand it because I saw recently it was an '86 K5 Blazer, and it was really well preserved. I mean, it was like still had window sticker, plastic on the floor mats. It basically a time capsule. Somebody bought it and like put it in storage. It had like 82 miles on it. And it sold for like $120,000, and I see that and I'm like, it's still just an old Chevy Blazer though, you know? Like it's not not like, you know, there's like no mystique around this. It's just a square body Blazer. Like I've had a couple of those too. Like they're not awesome as cars. Like yeah, they're great trucks. They're really good off road. They get like 7 miles a gallon, but you know. Like the snowpocalypse, you can drive right the fuck through a snowpocalypse in a Blazer, it doesn't care. But also, like,
exactly. But
it's still just an old Chevy Blazer.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you can't realistically anymore, like, unless you make a lot of money, you can't daily that. And even if you do and you, like, keep it really nice and like, it's still gonna leak oil and be loud and eventually start to rust out in the rockers because they all do. And, like, you know. It's still a product of its time. It's still Malaysia or GM. Like parts are gonna break, shit's gonna wear out. It's gonna ride like shit because it's an '80s truck. It just happens to also be a 2-door SUV, even though it's a truck. But yeah, so that's just I can't understand the market. Like I just am too practically looking at like you're spending this much money on what this is. I'm not buying into the hype or the mystique around cars like this. Like the Skyline, like, dude, that's a 35-year-old Nissan. Like, why you telling me I'm spending new car money on a 35-year-old Nissan? I don't think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing is I eventually do want to get an R32 GTR, but that's purely because I want to keep it exactly stock because it was already a perfect car of its time. Like, well, it was a.
They had a few issues that we can correct, but it's not like issues where you need to like swap the engine. It's issues where like, oh hey, you replace the oil pump with the Nismo oil pump. Like
like minor stuff.
It's also like there's factory fixes for the issues it's got.
Yeah.
I know another one is the ignition coil harness gets really hot, becomes brittle, breaks, and then you end up with misfires, and you're like, I don't understand. And like, well, it's. You know, sits right on top of the engine and gets hot as fuck. So, I mean, but there's fixes for that too. I think there's an aftermarket harness that fixes that issue. But yeah, little things, not quite noticeable things Will still look very factory.
Nothing stupid. But I mean, here, let me see.
Which reminds me, how is your car doing?
One sec.
30-something-year-old Mazda.
Before we go and change subject. Yeah.
Which we do quite frequently.
So, I'm screen sharing now. So, bring a trailer, 1970.
Yeah, it's still just a fucking old farm truck. You know?
It has 55,000 miles, but like that's not like 2,000 miles. Like, why is it so like between that and then 60,000 for a fucking CTSV wagon because they only made it that like 1 or 2 years.
An 11-year-old station wagon.
Like, yeah, it has a nice fucking engine, but it's
it had a Bose sound system and, top of the line 2011 tech, which shit is good enough for me because I daily drive a 2011 Ford Raptor.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. I would take 2011 tech over most new tech because if you look at a lot of the new shit, like they don't build anything clean lined anymore. They just kind of throw it on and make it an afterthought. Like you look at the
car interiors do look like shit now. That is a problem that I believe Tesla started. But
because like between that, that's an afterthought. That's an afterthought. That's terrible.
Most of the interior is an afterthought now, and it's tragic. We talked about this on previous podcasts. You spend 90% of your time with a car inside of it. It ought to at least be a nice place to be.
That one actually is fine. That's acceptable because that's kind of built into the lines.
That's an Audi. I'll never have an Audi.
Oh yeah, no, because they stopped making manuals anymore. So
can you believe people actually paid money for Cybertruck deposits? They're never gonna build that fucking thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing that
people need to cancel your deposits and go get a Rivian.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those Rivians driving around Washington. They look really neat.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at the interior. That is
dumb and shitty, but I
don't like that.
I mean, the outside of the truck looks cool.
Yeah,
it's eco-friendly and all electric and everything, but it's got as much power as Ram TRX.
And has a storage port.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's
well, they actually made it useful because for camping stuff.
Oh yeah, because all those people with all electric trucks go camping all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's what white people think now.
Trucks have become just such a marketing tool anymore.
Yeah, well,
look at all the neat shit it's got. Like, you gonna use any of this shit?
Yeah, since they really the 2005 era when they really started, they kept increasing the size. Because if you look at a '90s truck versus a today era truck, their size difference is so insane. And it's you're not really getting that much more out of it, just a bigger truck.
Yeah, years ago when I still had my OG muscle truck, my 99 Silverado, I had parked it next to, and at the time, 2011, 2012, Colorado, and they were the same size. A compact truck in that 12 years later than my half-ton truck, the exact same size. It actually might have been bigger. I don't know where that picture went. It's on my phone somewhere probably, but yeah. Yeah, half-ton trucks from the 90s are smaller than compact trucks now.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Trucks keep inflating.
Not a fan.
Not in price. Well, in price too, but I mean in size. They're becoming swollen.
Yeah. Yeah, here, let me see. Because here, you can see the pure size difference. It's insane.
Yeah, there's a half-ton truck and a Ford Ranger there. Ford Ranger's supposed to be a compact truck. It's supposed to be small.
But it's, I don't know. I can't do it. I don't feel yours I can deal with, but I can't deal with those. They're too big, man.
Well, mine is both.
I don't feel safe.
Taller and wider, and I think a little bit longer than that regular F-150 just because it's the Raptor.
Yeah. I don't know. Not a fan. Can't do it.
Yeah. I would never get rid of my Raptor now.
Oh, okay, everything? After everything you've been through with it?
Well, also, it's just... I don't know. The snowpocalypse hit, but I still drove home, no problem. Just kick it at 4 high. on the interstate at like 60 miles an hour. Like, truck doesn't care.
Yeah.
It'll do it. Shift in and out of
Yeah.
4 high whenever you want. And it
Yeah.
absolutely fine. No issues. Made it home safe. Was never any doubt. It's just like, it's such a capable vehicle. And for as little money as I had to pay for it when I bought it, because they weren't inflating yet, they were still depreciating from new. And you can't buy anything now that could feasibly replace it.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
a lot
like,
of
like the Ram TRXs and like, that those are all right, but like I'm not gonna pay $70,000 for something that's like a little bit better than my Raptor.
Oh no, actually, they're looking around closer to 6 figures.
Jesus Christ! Pull that up. Show that.
These are a lot. I mean, these are newer. I'll go with their 2021 and 22.
Yeah.
I don't know when they started making them.
I
So
think
that's the only thing.
last year or the year before.
Yeah. Here we go. So. This is the lowest.
Used
90,000.
2021 TRX.
90,000, and that's the lowest they can go is 90,000. Well, there's one for 71. Okay, so there are some for 75. And
Also,
around.
like, I know Ram's a whole different brand now, but like it's still a fucking Dodge, you know? Like, it's still gonna have Dodge problems. I know Fiat bought them a while ago, but still, it's gonna have
And it
Dodge.
doesn't really-
It's gonna have Dodge
I don't
truck
know.
problems, specifically the transmission.
it doesn't look that special to me.
Like the red one's neat, but like, like when the Raptor launched, like nobody made a ridiculous fast off-road bright orange truck except Ford, and that's why I bought that, because that's what I like it a lot.
But
What does
like,
a Silverado ZR2 cost? That's something I've entertained the thought of replacing it with, because I saw one in a commercial and it looked pretty nice.
Two?
Yep. Yep. Yeah,
That's the
70
lower-
grand.
there we go. The 60 for that one.
Well, that blue one does look nice, but again, am I gonna pay 60 grand for a truck that may not even do everything as well as my Raptor does?
Yeah.
And it's you can't impress me with the tech. I don't give a shit about the tech. The tech I don't want because I know it will break.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Like it feels that headlight just feels weird to me. It feels like there should be more to it.
Yeah, the beluga whale looking Chevys of the past couple years have not been popular.
No, not a fan.
Yeah, also, 14 city, 17 highway. That's what the Raptor gets, and it doesn't have 10 speeds. It's only got 6, and it's 11 years older than this truck. How is it that in 11 years we haven't improved fuel economy in trucks whatsoever?
I mean, they have. They just put smaller engines, like that V6 EcoBoost and that shit like that.
If I'm doing full-size truck shit with a full-size truck, which I regularly do, I need a V8, and I want a V8, and I'm not gonna...
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit how much faster you say the new Raptor is than the old one. I don't want a fucking V6 Raptor.
Yeah, that was like the big thing that really kind of killed it for, I mean, at least me, because like why would I want a truck that literally sounds like a Honda?
Yeah.
Like,
Senior Smith, he's got a really nice blue, I think 2019 Raptor, and yeah, it's really nice, it's great, but it's an EcoBoost V6, and I don't want an EcoBoost V6. Right now, my open header 6.2 Raptor sounds like a NASCAR when you floor it, and that's an irreplaceable grin that I get every time I do it, and I do it all the time. Like that's you'll never get that from a little, call it what it is, Mazda V6 with 2 eco turbos on it. Like you're not gonna get that same grin. There's just no way.
Yeah.
Miller was falling in love with my truck for the week that I was gone. I left it with him. And you saw in the group chat, he was like, yeah, I've been pulling people out of ditches and shit with it. I'm like, you do more towing with my truck this year than I have. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't mind, by the way. But, like, it's, it can do it. It's got tow hooks front and rear. Tow people out of ditches.
Yeah.
I towed somebody out of a snowbank on my way home that night. Like, rolled up and was like, hey, you stuck? Yeah. You got tow rope? Yeah. Cool, hook her up. I'll pull you out.
Hell yeah, there you go. Like that's the thing.
Like, no, fuck no, dude. I'm not getting out of my truck. I got heated seats. It's like 16 degrees out. I'm not getting out.
Yeah.
You hook it up. I'll pull you out. You're the one who's stuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's not like your problem. Fucking sort it out.
Yeah, I can do it.
I don't know.
You can hook it up and I'll pull you out, or you can wait for a fucking tow truck. You can pay money. It's up to you, man.
No, hard pass. Yeah, because even going through the, so going through, they had the first gen, then they had the second gen, which was not offered with the V8 yet.
Yeah.
So it was offered with
First
the V6.
generation only is V8. First year though wasn't the 6.2, it was the 5.4.
Well, apparently they made the third generation. They did bring it back. 5.2 V8.
It's not big enough though. 5.2 liters.
Yeah.
That's a 327, man. That's not big enough.
Yeah, similar to the one of the GT 500.
Cross-plane crank supercharged V8.
To compete against a new TRX. That's the only reason they brought back the V8 was to fucking compete with another company that finally, smirked at them.
The competition
the
breeds
Ranger Raptor
innovation, bro. That's why Madden is the lowest tier of video game possible, because no one else is allowed to make an NFL football game. So Madden can be a piece of shit, and people still buy it every year. Which they shouldn't, by the way.
Yeah, you should never own the sole rights to that sort of thing. Honestly, just having rights.
That's a monopoly. Like, I don't understand how they can get away with doing that.
Because it's America.
Yeah.
But, even the Ranger Raptor is powered by a fucking 3-liter twin-turbo V6.
Well, the Ranger Raptor is a Volkswagen design to pick up anyway. And don't get me started on the
Bronco Raptor is the same thing. EcoBoost V6.
And a 10-speed automatic.
I don't know. That's...
Shared with the Ford Explorer.
Not my thing. Yep. Hard pass.
Yeah.
I don't mind the looks on it. I just hate the engines that they offer. They're all trash.
It looks okay, but
inline 4, V6.
A small SUV, which that is supposed to be like a compact, not a full-size SUV, even though it's massive. It's as big as my Raptor. That would be the appropriate size vehicle for that 5.2 liter V8. Maybe without the supercharger. Maybe let the Bronco Raptor, the Braptor, have the supercharger. But just the regular one, that should have the 5.2 V8, not a 3 liter EcoBoost V6.
So maybe that'd be a thing we do in the future. Because I like the 2-door version. I like the looks on the 2-door version. Because the 4-door just looks too long to me.
Hold on. Ford unintentionally scheduled the unveiling for July 9th, the date of O.J. Simpson's birthday.
Hell yeah.
That man's still the Broncos staple the rest of his life, man.
Bro. He always will be. They should have given him one when he fucking got out.
Well, he didn't go to prison. Well, they sent him to prison for never being convicted of her murder, but what they actually sent him to prison for was breaking into that place in Las Vegas and stealing a bunch of his shit back from that one guy at gunpoint.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. But, man, should be driving one of these brand new. Fuck, man. If you said, hey, first 100 people to buy one of these will get his fucking autograph.
He might have
an
all-white 6th generation Bronco. We don't know.
Just bruh, if you offered me the fucking chance to get one of these signed by OJ, bro, I would buy it just because of that.
Juice is loose. Speaking of, OJ played for the Buffalo Bills, and the other night a Buffalo Bills player nearly died on the football field.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yep, made a tackle, stood up, took a couple steps, and then collapsed. Apparently he had a heart attack right there in the game, and it's CPR on him for 10 minutes, and he's in the hospital and critical now. Also, Ken Block died. Ken Block died last night in a snowmobile accident. Unpopular opinion, but honestly, man, serves him right for riding fucking snowmobiles. I mean, you gotta appreciate how much you worth to people, buddy. You can't be doing snowmobile shit in Utah.
I mean, that's kind of his thing. He just does insane stuff. But I mean, I will say it is definitely a big loss to the community because I don't like hooligans at all. but I respected what he did to the community. Like he brought a lot of people into the community.
Yeah.
Because of Hoonigan, because of his Gymkhana videos, like there was definitely people that were brought into the community because of it. So I would say it is definitely a big loss to the community to lose him. Well, I mean, I didn't even know till today that he actually used to be, because I always thought he just started off kind of doing random stuff. I didn't know that he was actually like a rally driver for Subaru.
He was. He did not get into being a rally driver until like his 30s, which to start driving competitively that late is a very steep learning curve that many don't overcome, but he did pretty well. He got into that. Mm-hmm. I also think he was one of the founders of DC Shoes, so that's how he had all that money.
Yeah, because if you look on YouTube, a lot of DC stuff has his stuff, and then obviously he made it big with Monster Energy. But yeah, I mean,
video quality impaired. Okay.
Yeah,
whatever that means.
But basically, it means it's gonna just be lesser. But I don't know. Whatever.
I think it's like a momentary hiccup because of my internet. Which, by the way...
Oh, yeah, because, it definitely has gotten worse.
Are we still streaming? We are still streaming and recording. Also, I love Jitsi Meet. Great website. It's like a free Zoom. But I love how it gives us these weird phrases as our room title. Our last one was something about food. This one is different changes ashore again.
Hell yeah.
It randomly generates them. Every time I go there, it gives me a different phrase, and that's our room title. So,
Jesus.
Sure.
Yeah, this video quality is kind of dog shit, but it's fine.
Well, my camera's being weird. I've got mad grain effect right now, and I don't know why, because I never did before. And it's just one of those things. Technology is strange and a fickle mistress. And I think you froze. Yep. Will he be back? I don't know.